June 6, 1944. D-Day. We all know the images. Landing craft doors dropping, soldiers storming the beaches under a hail of fire. But what exactly were they running towards? Today, we're not just looking at the courage of the soldiers, but the cold, hard engineering of the fortress they had to break, the Atlantic Wall. This wasn't just a simple line of bunkers. It was a complex, layered defense system designed by one of history's most formidable military minds, Erwin Rommel. We'll dissect the German defensive strategies, piece by piece, and explore the ingenious Allied counter-tactics that made the impossible possible. First, let's understand the German philosophy. Rommel knew he couldn't stop the invasion at sea. The Allied navies were just too powerful. His strategy was to defeat the invasion on the beaches themselves. He famously said, "The first 24 hours of the invasion will be decisive. For the Allies, as well as for Germany, it will be the longest day." So he turned the coastline of France into a deadly, multi-layered trap. The first layer of this trap wasn't even on land. It was in the water. Rommel ordered millions of obstacles to be placed in the tidal zone. Imagine fields of Rommel's asparagus, large wooden poles angled towards the sea, many tipped with mines, designed to rip the bottom out of landing craft at high tide. Then there were the Belgian gates, massive steel structures looking like giant fences, also mined. And tetrahedra, pyramid-shaped concrete blocks, created an underwater maze. The goal was simple: force the Allies to land at low tide, exposing their soldiers on a much wider open beach. And on that open beach, a symphony of destruction awaited them. The Germans didn't just line up machine guns and point them at the sea. They created interlocking fields of fire. A typical German resistance nest, or Widerstandsnest, was a masterpiece of defensive engineering. It would have multiple machine gun positions, often in concrete casemates called Tobruks, providing 360-degree fields of fire. These weren't necessarily facing straight out to sea. Many were positioned to fire down the length of the beach, creating devastating enfilading fire that could tear through entire lines of advancing troops. This is why beaches like Omaha were so deadly. Soldiers weren't just running forward into fire. They were caught in a brutal crossfire from the sides. Beyond the machine guns were the mortar and artillery. Mortar, hidden in deep pits behind the dunes, could drop shells with terrifying accuracy onto the beach and into the water. Further inland, artillery batteries were zeroed in on specific points on the beach. German observers in reinforced concrete observation posts would call in coordinates, and within seconds, a rain of high explosive shells would blanket that grid square. These batteries were often camouflaged or built into the landscape, making them incredibly difficult for Allied naval guns or bombers to spot and destroy. And then there were the bunkers themselves. We think of them as simple concrete boxes, but they were much more. The Tat organization, a Nazi civil and military engineering group, built thousands of them. They came in various standardized designs or Regelbau. Some were for personnel, some for ammunition storage, some housed anti-tank guns. The walls were meters thick, made of steel-reinforced concrete, designed to withstand direct hits from naval guns and aerial bombs. They were connected by a network of trenches, allowing German soldiers to move between positions under cover, reinforcing weak points or repositioning to counter an attack. The entire system was designed for defense in depth. If the Allies took the first line of trenches, they'd immediately face another and another. So, how on earth did the Allies break through this? It wasn't just about brute force. It was about brilliant innovation and specialized equipment. Let's start with the naval bombardment. Before the first boots hit the sand, a massive fleet of warships unleashed a furious barrage. Battleships like the USS Texas fired enormous shells, some weighing as much as a small car, aimed at the largest German gun emplacements. While they didn't destroy every bunker, they stunned the defenders, kicked up a massive smokescreen of dust and debris. and cratered the landscape, providing some cover for the advancing infantry. Then came the air power. Thousands of heavy and medium bombers dropped their payloads, attempting to soften up the defenses. While the bombing was not as precise as hoped, many bombs fell too far inland. Due to fear of hitting their own landing craft, it had a significant psychological effect and disrupted German command and communication lines. As the troops landed, fighter bombers like the P-47 Thunderbolt and the Hawker Typhoon roamed the skies, acting as cab ranks, waiting for calls from ground controllers to attack specific German strongpoints. But the real game changers were a series of secret weapons known as Hobart's Funnies, named after their creator, Major General Percy Hobart. These were ingeniously modified Churchill and Sherman tanks designed to solve specific problems. You had the Krob tank, a Sherman equipped with a giant rotating flail of chains on the front. It would drive forward, whipping the ground and detonating mines in its path, clearing a safe lane for troops and vehicles. Then there was the Crocodile, a Churchill tank that was a giant flamethrower. It could shoot a jet of burning fuel over 100 yards, terrifying defenders and forcing them out of even the most fortified bunkers. Imagine being inside a concrete pillbox and seeing a torrent of liquid fire coming towards your firing slit. Most soldiers surrendered immediately. To bridge ditches and scale sea walls, there was the Bobbin tank, which unrolled a huge canvas carpet in front of it to cross soft sand without getting stuck. And the Ave, the armored vehicle Royal Engineers, was a Churchill tank armed with a massive 290mm spigot mortar nicknamed the Flying Dustbin. It fired a 40-pound charge that could demolish concrete fortifications with a single shot. These weren't elegant weapons, but they were brutally effective. Beyond the specialized armor, it came down to the grit and ingenuity of the individual soldier. Combat engineers, under intense fire, used explosives like Bangalore torpedoes' long pipes filled with TNT to blow gaps in the barbed wire and other obstacles. Infantry teams developed their own tactics. Instead of charging straight at a machine gun nest, they would use suppressive fire from their own machine guns and rifles to keep the Germans' heads down. While one team laid down fire, another would flank the position, getting to the side or rear of the bunker where it was most vulnerable. They'd use grenades, bazookas, and satchel charges to neutralize the position. It was a slow, terrifying, and costly process. Each pillbox, each trench, had to be taken one by one. On Omaha Beach, where the naval and air bombardment had been least effective, and the funnies were largely absent, we saw the horrific cost of a frontal assault against a prepared defense. But on other beaches, like Utah, Gold, Juneau, and Sword, the combination of bombardment, specialized armor, and determined infantry tactics worked. The Atlantic Wall, for all its concrete and steel, was breached. The story of D-Day is often told as a single monumental event, but it was really thousands of small, desperate battles. A battle between a German machine gunner in a concrete casemate and a small team of American Rangers with a bazooka. A battle between a hidden German 88mm gun and a British Sherman Crab tank flailing its way up the beach. It was a contest of engineering and willpower. The German defenses were a testament to military engineering, designed to be unbreakable. But the Allied victory was a testament to something even more powerful: innovation, courage, and the relentless determination to overcome any obstacle, no matter how formidable. Thank you for watching. If you found this deep dive into D-Day tactics interesting, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more historical analysis. See you next time.